It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I am taking a look at a card game from Renegade Game Studios called Lotus. Lotus here is about building flowers. It says it's about a lotus garden that has preserved its secret for centuries, and the flowers have a mystical power. You have just learned how to harness that power. You have the strength required to achieve enlightenment. The theme's pretty funky and doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I will allow it because it makes for really gorgeous looking cards and very pretty arrangements in the game. Let me show you how the game works, and then I'll tell you if I think this one's just looks or if it's also a good game underneath that. Here we go. In this game, the players are trying to build the best flowers, score majority on those flowers, and then have the most points at the end of the game to win. You are going to be getting, at the end of the game, 1 point for every petal you have in your score pile, and for every one of these tokens in your score pile, you get 5 victory points. To begin the game, we're going to shuffle up these cards, the neutral gray cards. Play 4 face up as a display you'll be able to draw from. Each player gets their own deck of cards. Gets some tokens I'll be talking about later on, these 3 square tokens. You get 2 of your little critters, which you'll be using to help you influence the flowers. And then you also get a handy dandy little cheat sheet, and I'll be showing you that a little closer up on the screen. And then you draw 4 cards and you're ready to begin. So on your turn, you are going to be able to take 2 actions. Those actions are, you can play up to 2 cards on a single flower, so you can play some petals. You can exchange petal cards by discarding up to 2 to the bottom of a deck and then drawing 2 new ones, or you can play a guardian or move a guardian if it's already in play, okay? So, playing petals is quite simple. You are going to play to begin a new flower. If that flower is not already started, you can play to begin a new one. I could play 1 single petal, or 2 if I already happened to have 2. So that could be 1 action there, and this could be my second action, okay? Now, assuming if I had this card in my hand, my second action could be 1, 2, okay? So up to 2 petals is a single action. Just want to make that clear. That's the first thing you can do as an action. Play up to 2 petals on 1 flower. Second thing is you can get rid of some cards in your hand. So let's say I am not happy with a couple of these. I can take them, put them on the bottom of my deck, and draw 2 new ones. And then as my third action, let's assume this was going here already, I could move or play one of my little guardians onto that flower, okay? This is going to continue, every player taking those options until one of the flowers is completed. And the number of petals is listed right there on the cards. Once that happens and one of the flowers is complete, then we're going to check who wins that flower. And the way you do that is by checking the symbols on the cards themselves. Some cards, your own cards will have 1 or 2 of a symbol that matches your color. So let me look for a card here that has 2 of them. Like this one has 2 little symbols there. Or they are neutral if they are these cards, which do not have anyone's symbol, or you can count these up as well. Okay, so basically right now, at this flower, it's obviously not complete, but if it was, I would have 1, 2, and 3 for my little guardian. That's my strength at that flower. Once the flower is complete, whoever has the most strength at that flower will score all the petals and will get either one of these 5-point tokens, or they can unlock one of these upgrades for the rest of the game. Again, we'll come back to these in just a little bit. So that's basically how that works. If there happens to be a tie at a flower, the tied players all get an upgrade or a token, and they will split the petals that are out here. Once you have taken your 2 actions, by the way, and it's time to replenish your hand, you'll be able to draw either from your own deck or from these face-up cards. The idea here is if you draw from your own deck, you know you'll have strength towards the flowers, but you don't know what kind of petal you're getting. If you draw from these, you know exactly what petal you're getting, but no strength that helps you out in the fight itself. So that's how that works. And once these are gone, you would then replenish with more from the deck like so. So that's basically it. These special little power-ups are going to allow you a couple of special powers in-game. And again, once you unlock one of these, then you are going to have it for the rest of the game. So let me give you a look at how they work, all right? So we've got here the infinite growth right there. Allows you to play 3 or more petals to a single flower when you choose that action. Normally you can play up to 2 petals to a flower with this one. If you have more than that, you can play as many as you want to a single flower for one action. The Elder Guardian, you get an extra little guardian that matches your shape, but it's silver. And that one counts for a strength 2 when it's on a flower. Very powerful. And then over here, the Enlightened Path lets you have a hand of 5 cards instead of a hand of 4 cards. So that's pretty much it. Again, you can choose to do one of these and unlock it instead of taking one of these for 5 victory points. We're going to continue playing until someone's deck has run out. We are going to finish out that round. And then you count up every petal, as I said, is 1 victory point in your score pile. Each of these is 5 points. Most victory points is the winner of the game. I wasn't really sure what to expect from the cover of the game. It doesn't say a lot to me, but once I saw pictures of how the game, of what the game looked like set up and those flowers and everything, I was intrigued. It's a very unique looking game. And it works well. It's a game that's got a really nice flow to it. It's a quick game. It's simple, easy to teach. But the turns are clever, and you want to... there's a really interesting balance, which is the main thing in the game that is I guess a tactical or strategic choice, I should say, over just sort of tactical card play, which is how many and which of those little power-up tokens do you give yourself. Every time you take one of those, you are not taking 5 victory points. And so you kind of have to decide, is one of them enough? And then every time you complete a flower and score that flower, you get a 5-point token. Or do you want 2 of those? And then, start giving yourself the 5-point tokens. Do you not go for any of them? Just forget it. I'm just going to try to steamroll everybody, even though they'll have, little boosts. I'm just going to try to complete flowers. I'll go for the small flowers. There's all of these things, and it is interesting. Now, you kind of have to work with what you're dealt. In the game, there is not a whole lot of hand management per se. You have a hand of 4 cards, maybe 5. You need to be drawing from your own deck because you got to have the cards that give you your own power, for when you play, you can count that card. And yes, I like the idea of the cards being face up and not having the power, and you'll draw from there, certainly. But a lot of the game is luck. A lot of the game is top decking the cards you need, and that's okay. I'm not knocking the game for that because it is a very light game and it fits the play style of what this gives you. But be aware, this is not a game you want to go into thinking, oh, what strategic, mastermind moves can I be making in this? It's really simple, very light game. However, having said all that, I would definitely recommend the game for someone looking for a very attractive, unique-looking game. This game will give you that in spades. The gameplay itself, I would be worried maybe a little bit that after, say, 10, 15 plays, it's gotten stale. But so far, I'm digging it. And so far, I've taught it to several new folks. Everybody's liked it. Everybody's thought it was clever. It was an interesting game. It's easy to teach. The special tiles give you just enough that it's an extra little oomph to explore. You don't quite get everything in the first play or second play. I like that. So, thumbs up from me. This is another winner for Renegade Game Studios that really does seem to be on fire these days. Renegade Game Studios is one of those companies that they clearly know what they're doing. Lately, every game I've played from them has been either a great reprint or just a really fun game. So this is yet another one to check out. Lotus, look into it, folks.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.